Today we're going to take a quick look at some new Honda CB300R news. Now if you follow the channel, then you may remember we talked about how India released a new 2022 CB300R that had some changes thrown at it back in December, and I mentioned that we might see those updates thrown at our 2023 Honda CB300R in the USA, and that we could see the CB300R return to Europe thanks to those updates that included tweaks to the engine's emissions to bring it back up to par after it was discontinued a little while back due to not meeting the latest Euro 5 regulations. Well, fast forward to this weekend, Honda of Europe just announced the return of the CB300R for 2022 with those changes that we talked about back in December, plus we now know a little bit more about it. Now we weren't sure on the exact performance numbers and if they were really that different when compared to the previous generation, but now those numbers are out. They are practically unchanged, with the CB300R's peak horsepower still coming in at 31, but it comes in at 9,000 RPM now instead of 8,500, and its peak torque of 20.3 pound-feet comes in at 7,750 RPM instead of the 7,500 mark it was at previously. And as a refresher, in case you missed it in the last video, some of the other highlights when it comes to changes for the CB300R are that it now has 41mm Showa separate function big piston inverted forks, which have a pressure separation damper in one fork leg and the spring mechanism in the other, hence the separate function part of the name. Plus, going back to the engine, it now has an assist slipper clutch too. Then you also get an updated gauge cluster with a gear position indicator thrown in there, a new muffler that matches the 500 styling, and they've played around with different finishes around the bike as well as throwing some color on the front fender, which is another step in the right direction in my opinion. Honda is also throwing some new color options at it with a pearl dusk yellow option, matte pearl agile blue, and then we have some past colors returning with candy chromosphere red and matte gunpowder black metallic. And fingers crossed we get more than just one of those options here in the States for 2023 on this new updated CB300R platform. And why do I say 2023 Honda CB300R for the USA? Well, our 2022 has already been released here in the States, and if you haven't already seen my deep dive review video on it, check it out and you'll see that it's still technically the older platform and not the newer 2022 CB300R platform that other corners of the world are getting. But what do you guys think about it all, and which is your favorite color? Also, are you happy with the changes Honda is throwing at the CB300R platform, or do you wish they would have done a little bit more? And if you think they should have done more, what else would you guys like to see them change? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section, and I'll be joining in on the conversation too. And that's a wrap for this video. Thanks again for watching and supporting all of this. I really appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.